This is about to be the most awkward and uncomfortable moments of my life entirely. We've got a beautiful setup here. We've got a garbage can and a box. And we're leaning against my Multivites Vitafusion vitamins. Okay. Stop. We're feeling more of like a brown, like a neutral brown. Maybe a pop of gold. So. Well, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Use my Beauty Bay Evolve palette. That is the dirtiest thing I've ever seen in my life. Flip it open. I'm going to use this row here up until the shades. Okay, now the most important thing is to have brushes that work. A lot of people do their makeup, same things that other people use, and they don't get a good outcome. Probably it's because you're not using brushes. So I usually use between 3 and 4 brushes, sometimes more, depending on what I'm doing. So today I'm probably going to use this one. No, they're not the same. And maybe this one. First, we're going to use this lightest shade and blend it in the crease up towards the brow bone. Dipping back in when we need to. It's just going to create a light transition so that all the colors blend better together. So I like to use one closest to my skin tone for this, which is why I like this top row here. Because it has a bunch of different undertones that can really help you blend. Once you have that there, looks like you did absolutely nothing, but you did. Another brush. This one here. It's just a little smaller than the first brush we used. You can see them side by side. So then we're going to dip into the next darkest shade. And again, just putting it a little lower. So for a look like this, we're just going to want it to do a gradual gradient. So darkest here, and it's going to go lightest out. And that's what really helps make the blend look effortless. Okay, just going back in with that first brush with the lighter color on it, just to blend the edges of that darker color. Okay, so you can see we're starting to build more of a gradient there. Next, we're going to use this brush. See how it's more flat on the side? There's the side there. And then it opens out, kind of like a paddle. So you can really use it to pack color on there. So we're going to use this third darkest shade here. What I like about this palette is that each line is a look. So if you want, you can go through that for more lazy days, or if you're just learning how to use the colors properly, or you can just mix and match, which is what I usually do, but today I'm just going to go for an easy top to bottom look. So just grabbing a little bit on my brush there, tap off any excess, and just pat, 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 putting it right there. Just right on the outer corner where you want most of the pigment to be, and then slowly blend up right in that crease right above your eyeball. Slowly blend up. And again, don't worry if nothing is perfectly blended right now, because we just go in with our different brushes. Okay, so that's just a nice start there. So that's what we've got right now. Again, not perfectly blended, just getting that color in. And then we're going to go back in with that second brush, the black one again, and just buff it out more in towards that transition shade. Okay, more like that, more blended. I'm just going to go into that second color again right here and just apply it over top. Okay, and that's what we have there. So it's just about looking at what you have and what you need to make more of, add more of, take away some of, and then just using the colors and previous brushes to your advantage. Nice. Okay, and then I'm going to take the smallest brush here and the darkest shade, and I'm just going to take this a little at a time, little bit by little, because it's easy to add more, not so easy to take away. Again, tapping it off. Tap, don't blow. It's more sanitary. Just gonna put it right in that crease and farthest on that V. Just put a little bit. It's just all about adding more and more dimension, more depth, until you like the way it looks for you personally. Sometimes it's good to apply the darkest color with one brush. That can really detail it where it's supposed to be. Okay, like that. Atrocious. And then using this nice skinny tapered brush I really like. And then you're just going to use that just to blend it out. And because it has that tapered edge there, it really is just going to go exactly where you want it to go. Just like that. So that is what we're looking at. Now we're done with this. If you wanted to, you could just go back in with, these are the two colors that they suggest you use with these colors. I'd agree, but I really want to use this beautiful bronzy coppery color from ColourPop. Yeah. So this is Deep Dive by ColourPop, and we're just going to swirl the fingy in there and just going to apply it on the in because this color is a little deep, so I'm going to put something lighter right on the inner corner. Oh, it's so beautiful. So that is that color on the eyes. And then I'm just going to take the same neutral kind of tone shade Birthday Girl. There it is right there. So it's just a little bit lighter than this one, so you can see. So we're just going to take this shade and just tap it right on the inner corner there. And there we go. Beautiful. All right, now I'm just going to take a very clean, fluffy brush. So I'm just going to take this one here. Possibly the oldest brush I've ever owned in my life. Probably because it was my mom's. And I'm just going to blend right here. There's nothing on this brush. And I'm just blending here just to remove any extra sparkle that didn't quite get blended. And then just to make sure right here in between the sparkle and the matte shadow are combined, I'm just going to take that small pencil brush again and just tap right over the line that the glitter meets the outer V there that we placed the darker color on. and just blend those together so it's more of a seamless mix. And that is what we have come up with for a light neutral eyeshadow. And I'm just going to do a very thin line along the top. I'm not going to wing it out. That's what we've got, just a little more definition. I'm more of an eyeshadow gal than a liner gal, so usually I tend to just stick with eyeshadow and roll with it. So yeah, those are the eyes. I will put mascara on after I do my face. I'm going to pin my hair back and take this little headband like that. So I like to apply my face sunscreen every day. I use this one here. And I just press that into my pores. Then we're just taking a little bit, press it into the pores. It's just going to help grip your makeup. I also like to put it over any blemishes just to give it a fighting chance of covering. It usually doesn't, but whatever. Okay. This. I like to take a brush first and stipple it on. It's important to just drag it down the neck a little bit, especially when you're like me and can't match your foundation color for the life of you. Literally, I don't think I'll ever be able to figure it out. I'm always lighter than I think, or don't want to go too dark. I'm just going to add some extra coverage where I need it with whatever's left over on my palette. Yes, this is a coaster. Shout out to my sister for buying it for me. Okay, after blending everything in with the foundation brush, this is what we're looking like. Not bad. But now I just like to take my beauty sponge, it's the Real Techniques sponge, and I just like to go over it because I don't like to have excess product sitting there looking crazy and such. Okay, next we're going to move on to concealer. So I'm going to use for that the e.l.f. 16 Hour Camo Concealer. This stuff is Coverage Baby, and I don't like Coverage Baby. So I just take a tiny bit, just like that. And we're going to put it over this guy because, you know what? He can't sit with us. So that's that. So this one I'm going to let sit there for about like 2 minutes. Let it dry a little bit because I find that adds the most coverage and it will actually stick on the blemish. And then we're just going to take that sponge again and just blend out the concealer. You know when you start a new sponge and you don't want to use the pretty pink part? So we're just going to use this side. And this one's been here for a bit, so face done. I'm just going to put eyebrows on now because I hate looking at them. And I'm just going to brush them up. For that, I use the Maybelline Tattoo Studio in, I don't know, dark brown, medium brown, medium brown. And it's like this little thing. It's a horrible applicator. If you ever try and use just that, you will die. So I just get product on here and then I use a little angled brush, just small, small, small. Sometimes it's clean, sometimes it's not. And then I just take a little bit of the product on the tip of my brush and just go in like that and fill it out. I like to start here and go back and then slowly bring the product to the front so it's not quite as blocky, because I'm not a fan of block brows. Once the brows done, they do dry down so that they're not as shiny, but you can definitely feel the product on your eyebrows. Okay, and then next we are just going to go in with some bronzer, blush, and highlight. With this Kiko Milano Magical Holiday All-in-One Face Palette set. This is what it looks like. It's quite beautiful. So I'm going to use the bronzer, this blush most likely, and then this highlighter. So for bronzer, I like to use this Sephora Demi Fan Pro brush to start off with, just to place the bronzer there in a more concentrated amount, and then I use a fluffier brush to diffuse it out. So I'm just going to coat my brush and just stamp it where I want it. So again, I'm using mostly stamping motions with this brush because it is denser. It's more likely to pick up the foundation underneath. Okay, so I just get that to start. Look, and then I'm going to use this Real Techniques blush brush. I do not use it for blush. Use brushes for whatever you want to. I'll just pick up a tiny bit more and just buff that out, bringing it up along my hairline. I'm just blending it out. Same on the other side. And that's kind of what we are ended with there. If you like something more sculpted, that's cool, but I have no cheekbones, as you can tell, and I don't feel like faking it. But if you fake it till you make it, baby. And we've got that. Okay, and next we are going to go in with a blush brush. This is the blush brush by Danielle Cosmetics. We're just going to take the matte blush here, tap it off, and I like to start right here, kind of in between your hairline and the apple of your cheek, just because I don't want to look like a clown with it stamped right on the apples of my cheek. So I like to just start here and kind of bring it back, then bring it forward, just so it's a little more diffused and not quite as bam in your face, you know? You just kind of get more of a kissed look like that. Okay, again, and then I will take my highlighter brush. This is from Primark. This is my favorite highlighting brush. And I'll just take the highlighter here. It's super beautiful, super glittery. And I just take it, put it right here. There we go. Just adds the most beauty. I'm just going to set a tiny bit underneath my eyes. I don't like adding a lot of setting powder under there because I don't like it to look cakey, but if you don't want your mascara to transfer to the under eyes here, it's a good idea just to add a little bit. So I'm just using this Laura Mercier setting powder in Lord knows what. Again, just the tiniest bit, putting it in there, tapping it off, and just make sure there's no creases under there already. And I just add a tiny touch there. I'm just going to put a little bit of brown underneath that lower lash line of mine just to kind of tie the top and the bottom together. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. If you want to, cool, do it with me. If not, don't do it at all. So I'm just going to take a small shader brush here. Oh my god, I thought I wasn't recording this whole thing. I almost cut myself. And then I'm just going to take the third shade down here and just kind of mix that with this shade just to lighten it up a little bit. And then I'm just going to start from the outer corner and work my way in towards about 3/4 of the way in. I'm just going to take a brown liner, which is this Essence Hot Chocolate, and just put that a little bit on the waterline. Just adds a little more definition. And then I'm just going to take my mascara. Right now I'm using Bad Gal Bang by Benefit, and I don't curl my lashes, but if you like to, do that now and then put your mascara on. Okay, and that is the mascara done. And then we're just going to do our lips. So for lips today, I'm just going to go, again, more nude because I'm not really feeling like going crazy out there right now. It's this Morphe liquid lipstick in the shade Peanut. And just put that all over the lips. And that is the lips. It looks way oranger on this camera. We're just going to set it with some e.l.f. Makeup Satin Mist. Give it a shake. And to top the lips off, I'm just going to add this Stila lip gloss in the shade Elevator Pitch. It is glitzy, so if you don't like glitz, you're probably in the wrong place. Let's take all this shenanigans out. Put down our hair. And yeah, bye.